Every week, man, every week.
Mm-hmm.
In a long enough timeline, we should become pros. I don't know how long that timeline is going to be,
I don't know, man.
but pros we shall be.
One day.
Not today. Not today. We're so far from it, man. Thank you again, people. We had a jump. I was going to show you before we did this, but I'm like, we just sit and chit chat and keep delaying and delaying. After everything works, we'll never get to the show. No, there's I think 89 downloads of audio only yesterday, which is kind of cool.
That's sweet.
I mean, I'm just some nobody out in the middle of nowhere. So either get ready for some hate or I wouldn't say love, but definitely hate. Get ready for hate or nothing.
Okay, I'll take the hate.
Yeah, yeah, I know. You trolls, leave it alone. Anyhow, I'm gonna actually attempt. What do I want to call it? Comments on Facebook. I'm gonna try and get in on that today.
All right.
Try. Will I succeed? Well, let's find out, people. It's gonna be exciting. Our favorite tech company.
Okay, I was hoping you'd lead with tech. Yeah.
Yeah, our favorite tech company. They're redesigning their keyboards.
Okay.
Apple.
After people complained about the last refresh on the keyboards.
Well, just you'd get a little bit of dust in there and stop working.
Yeah.
And they were having major problems with it. And they were saying, and I don't know if they did the same thing like what they did with the iPhone 4 antenna gate, oh, you're holding it wrong because you weren't holding the very bottom of the phone. I don't think they were oh, you're typing wrong. But I know it was an issue, and a lot of people said stuff about it. And they did bring a thing up about, or a thing came out. I forget who it was that said it. I don't have a source. Don't ask me for sources, people. I don't like citing my sources. I just make this stuff up. Okay, so it came from CNET. Apple will replace all butterfly switch keyboards.
Okay.
So that's their plan. That's the short version of it. I'm not going to dig too deep into it. Huawei, their phones were banned. You knew that, right?
That's the one I heard about this week. Yeah.
Okay.
So U.S., UK, and Japan. I heard I saw are three that are on board, and Google's not gonna update Huawei anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I saw another thing, and this comes from CNET also. Huawei doesn't need Android. You're not going to get a Huawei device with iOS on it. Let's be clear about that, people.
No.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. Apple's so good at making their stuff already. They don't need other people to make it. They had other people making their chips for a while, but I think they're making their own chips for their phones, like the A9 and whatever version they're up to now. They've been doing that for years. But not needing Android, that's a pretty bold statement.
Well, I think their plan is they're probably just gonna have a Android clone. You know what I mean?
There's
something
gonna be
similar. You know?
Right, but there's literally going to be no market. They're going to have to build a market from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're not using Android, they're not going to have the Google Play services. You don't have that, you don't get apps.
No.
Are they going to have their own? I'm curious to see how that's going to work.
Yeah.
I want to know, how's this going to work, people? Honestly. I don't see it happening, but if we want to dig into the article, I'll pop it open on the phone. In other news with Huawei too, the Honor 20, what was the thing called? Honor 20? Did that launch? Yeah, the Honor 20 Pro launches despite Trump's ban. So Trump banned Huawei devices.
Yeah.
But even though he banned them, it still launched.
Here?
I'll pull this one up. Since I already had the other one pulled up, we'll pull this one up and do it right.
Because I could see it could have been the launch was imminent anyway, and they were a bunch of them were already here and whatnot. But
okay, Huawei Honor 20 Pro launches with 4 rear cameras, includes Android despite Google ban.
Oh, despite the Google ban. Okay.
Wow. Is that the one? Yeah, that's the Honor 20. So this super affordable phone from Huawei's Honor is shaping up to be a cheaper P30. So I'm not going to dig into the whole article. Something I'm super excited about because your average Android user, your average smartphone user that isn't an iPhone person, not an Apple or iOS based device, the Google Pixel 3a, the smaller, more affordable. I think it's like $299 or $399.
Oh, all right. Dang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a slimmed down, slightly less powerful version of the Pixel 3, and that's a good thing, man. That's a good phone, good thing.
Appealing to different markets, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I do. I'm trying to see where I put that where I can like glance at it without getting all crazy. I was gonna try and get a Pixel myself. Just I've loved the Nexus phones ever since they had them, and then I had two different Pixel phones. Sadly, both of them died because they were used, refurbished garbage. But anyhow, I had just about every model of Nexus that came out except for, I think, the Nexus Q, if that was one. There was a goofy one that was made by, I think, Asus or somebody. Asus. I didn't get that one. Pixel 3a, a Pixel 3, half the price. Hell yeah. Sign me up. I'll buy it. Any other tech news we got, man?
You covered the one that was the one I heard about.
Honor 20.
Yeah. Funny name, huh?
Sorry, the Honor 20 Pro. To be
I mean,
exact.
ripping off IP and like intellectual property and then calling the phone an Honor, Pretty funny.
Who were they ripping off?
Oh, I guess not. Yeah, I guess. Well, now I guess they are if they're going ahead with it in spite of the ban. Yeah. So yeah.
I just, you see, I have an Honor phone here. Panic, people, panic. I know. Are we being spied on?
Yeah. That's just a lot of data. Like,
Right. Do I care? Not a chance. Not a chance. Do I care? What is that? I gotta get my throat clear. Sorry. Is that why he banned them? Trump banned the Honor phones because they're spy
I don't even think necessarily that. I think it falls more into like the trade dispute.
trade dispute.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need your goods.
Yeah, I think that's more kind of what it's about. Yeah.
Do you see him getting reelected?
He's got a shot.
Like, he definitely has
He
a
definitely
shot.
got a shot. Yeah.
I think people will amass together again
Yeah.
and elect the guy just because, like, there's so many people saying it ain't never gonna happen. Watch.
That's what they said a couple years ago.
Right.
Yeah. Like the polls were like, oh no, Hillary in a landslide tomorrow. And then, yeah.
Yeah, and so many other people have said it best. We just had a Windows machine wake up out of nowhere. Yeah. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was literally no contest. Like, that is a popularity contest. Who's president?
Yep.
And you're gonna take a bunch of politicians.
Versus a guy who had like the number one reality show for the number one show for like 4 years.
A reality TV star
Yep.
that people love.
Yep.
There's no contest. Like, I can't believe they fell for it, but hey, they did. I'm never going to be president, so don't vote for me. Don't write me in. Don't sign me up, people. I'll hit the button. Don't let me near that button.
Yeah.
I will get my apocalypse. Believe it. No. I was a little worried, man. A little worried. With the tech. How often? Let's go over this. Okay. For average people out there, how often do you need to get a new phone realistically? And also a new computer? Because as you know, I work on computers, and I work on computers often that are 5, 7, 9, 10 years old. And these
Yeah.
people still intend on using them. So let's go to. We can't just go by that measure because there's people that buy the latest and greatest every time it comes out, and then there's people that hold on to them for a decade.
I don't know, like I'm more of like a once every couple years, and like I'll upgrade parts of my computer once every couple years, so.
Okay, so you'll keep the base unit, maybe upgrade the GPU,
Yeah.
and you have it do you max it on RAM when you first build it, or is there room to grow a little?
Room to grow.
That's what I do too.
Because I look at like how much I actually need for games and like kind of like look at the curve for like the next couple years. And I'm like, oh, all right, that's enough RAM.
Yeah. I usually always, unless I go with one of my classic, I build them with micro ATX boards or mini ITX, and then I usually both slots will be populated, but I don't max it out like not 32 gigs in it, not in two slots. You know, those 16 gig sticks are pricey. But I think I fall outside like your average consumer.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Another thing too, I think, other than a large number of people just being like your consumer and using your computer, I think a lot more people are starting to. I think the line's getting blurred, I guess, is more of an accurate statement between consumer and prosumer. Do you know what I mean? Because not like high end gaming notebooks and workstations. Average people aren't buying them, but you're getting what the tech can do, what your entry level processors can do. You know, what is that where I'm trying to think of the term, like price versus performance.
Yeah.
And the more money you spend, you're not really getting that much more performance.
Yeah, there's a sweet spot like before you hit the prosumer level.
Right.
Yeah,
And
usually.
some of the lower end stuff is starting to actually be pretty powerful.
Well,
Like I still don't dig these processors that they don't feel like cooling with an actual fan or
I think the next generation of consoles, you might see a jump in them catching back up. You know what I mean?
two computers.
At least, yeah, like at least for like modern demands. You know what
Well,
I mean?
there's still we have a hard time emulating some consoles today with computers because of just how proprietary they are. And like Switch emulation is wacky at best, unless you got like a beast computer. And I don't have a slouch computer, but mine's not great. I've got a 1050 Ti, which is an old card. It's an old, very entry level gaming card from years ago. I wouldn't buy one today. I did because it was cheap and we use it to stream, and that's what we need it for. Other than that, I have what is that thing, a 960? And yeah, Switch emulation on 960, at least with my hardware config. Maybe it's because the rest of the computer's so old, but it doesn't do it. So you're saying consoles you think are gonna
I think they'll make a bit of a catch up.
another big leap to,
Yeah.
because they basically are computers
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, they've been getting like the two major ones have been getting closer and closer to that. And yeah, this
Sony
one,
and Xbox.
yeah, and now this time they pretty much are.
It's kind of like it's weird because they are competitors for each other, even though Nintendo's in there. I mean,
Nintendo has a different market, I think.
while all marketing to
Yeah.
all marketing to gamers, Nintendo markets to different gamers. Like Nintendo's like the most family friendly company ever as
Yeah.
far as kids are concerned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And they do a good job at keeping it that way. But at the same time, it dumbs down a good experience. Did you play any of the Call of Duty on Wii?
Not the Wii. The Wii U I did.
Clunky at best.
It ran okay. It ran better on the Wii U, but yeah, you could tell it was like a watered down version.
Right, it runs, but it just.
Yeah.
I played I forget which one of the Call of Duties on Wii, and it was
Yeah, they're completely different.
dude, it was. I could see the reason for wanting to buy one of the gun controller holders
Yeah.
to make it like, because it was just so clunky using like the Wiimote and the nunchuck to play. You get used to it after a while, but I tried and tried, and I could not get anywhere near to the skill level I could with like a PS4 or Xbox controller, right? And I'm with a controller. I'm not anywhere near to the level I am with a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
You know, so I would like to see all those people in the same arena. Have they bridged that gap yet? Where they let people play in those type games?
Not for I don't think first person shooters really yet.
Right.
Because there is a competitive advantage to mouse and keyboard.
Yeah. And people that have never played with one don't see it. No, like, no way.
Yeah,
I've had disagreements, and I'm like,
okay, like Battlefield. I've been because I hooked the computer back up this week, and
oh shit, watch out on the internet.
Yeah, but I was playing some Battlefield, and yeah, like even still, like I would have like my one warm up game where I was trash. The next game I do good again, and then I played some the battle royale a little bit. That's been my like groove.
That is fun doing that, man.
Yeah.
There's kind of an edge of your seat rush, like the survival. You know what I mean? And when I mean say survival, I don't mean like gathering and building a fort. Like the survival aspect of making it to the end.
Yeah, I gotta say with Battlefield's Battle Royale though, if you find that like the armor's a little OP from what I've seen so far, and if you get the 3-stack armor, which is a rare drop, like it works like you have your health bar and then you have 3 armor slots.
Right.
But you get one by default that just like you pick up plates and throw them in, but then you need like a medium armor backpack.
Right.
And that holds 2, and then you need like a large one for 3.
Oh,
and the large
okay.
one's a rare drop. So if you find that 3-bar one, like it's kind of
You're the man.
Yeah. Then that's what you need to make it to the end game.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. See, I haven't played it, so.
But yeah, I warmed right back up to the mouse and keyboard and was dinging headshots and whatnot. So it is like in my experience, it's a superior one.
I would say that too. I've had disagreements with other people, like no way, and it's like until you try mouse and keyboard.
Yeah,
I've tried both. Yeah, like I don't think you're saying have an accurate statement there. You know, you got to try both, and you'll see. Because I know you can bump up the sensitivity on a controller.
you can, and you can get like the little extenders, and that gives you like a more like it kind of like extends the range of your sweets, like how like the area that you can move your control stick.
Right.
Fine tunes it a little bit.
Right, but it's still nowhere near to flicking your wrist, and yeah.
Because you can just flick your wrist and you're 180.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you can do that with the stick too, and it's quick.
It's quick, but yeah.
I think that is the reason they don't mix the platforms, like PC with.
Well, there's certain games like like Minecraft and Rocket League, but yeah, not
Right,
shooters. Yeah.
Yeah, not yet, people.
New Call of Duty I saw.
When?
Well,
What's
it's
this?
fall like every year.
Okay, what are they calling this one?
Modern Warfare,
Another Modern Warfare?
but they're just calling it Modern Warfare again.
How many have had that title? 2?
Well, 3 technically. COD 4, Modern Warfare, then Modern Warfare 2, and Modern Warfare 3.
And this is just Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
All right,
It's a weird name scheme, yeah.
let's sell that game again, but make it different.
Well, it's like they're doing a soft reboot. Well, that's speculation. They're just doing like a soft reboot.
Okay,
Yep.
I dig it. Who makes them? Is that Square?
Call of Duty.
I don't know.
It's not EA. It's Activision, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, Activision. That's like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and whatnot. Okay, Modern Warfare. I can dig it. Little weird, but okay. Like, do you think they think about that in those meetings? Like, if we're in,
Yeah.
like we should simulate that meeting, guys. We're making a new Call of Duty game. It's coming out in fall. What should we call it?
Ones like that, I just imagine like an 80s like writing session
Right.
where like they're doing blow and they're like, yeah, man, go for that. Like, because it makes no sense to me. Yeah.
What do we
like,
call this one?
I don't know.
I think we should call it Modern Warfare. Didn't we already do that?
Okay, then
Of course we did, but I think we can get away with it.
I would think that they're trolling me in the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just call it the same name as a game we've sold before. We're going to sell it again with the same name. They'll buy it.
Yeah.
It's on a different platform. They'll never know. Yeah. And I could see it going one way or the other. Like, yeah, they just, let's do it anyhow. Or, let's,
Well, okay. What I think they need to do is they need to, because COD 4 was like the last like pretty big one on PC,
right.
like the first Modern Warfare. So I think they need to pay a little attention to the PC maybe this time, because they might have a chance to get back in there.
Yeah.
Because Battlefield has has always had like a more PC focused crowd too. So
Yeah. Yeah, they have. I agree on that one. You got to give me a minute here. We got to just keep carrying the show.
yeah.
So Call of Duty, Modern Warfare in fall. That's
And,
the
and I don't think there's a Battlefield this year because Battlefield usually goes on a 2-year cycle.
were the games I played, the Battlefield Bad Company 2, was that just a different game altogether from the same company, or was that in with the Battlefield series?
It's in the Battlefield series, but it's its own like kind of little spin-off.
Right. I liked it, man. Battlefield Bad Company 2, and then there was that Sniper Ghost Warrior and then Sniper Ghost Warrior 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was digging both of those, but
I was hoping they make. I hope they make Bad Company 3 because I didn't really get to play those ones.
a game that had a lot of hype that I remember was the Lost Planet series. And every time they'd come out with a new one, there'd be so much hype about it, and they didn't really introduce anything revolutionary or groundbreaking. And the first one came out at a time when, if they had included multiplayer, I think it could have been the best game for more years than it was. But they didn't, and I think they tried it in the second one and failed. And if they made a 3, I think they might have did it right. I can't remember. The Lost Planet, I haven't played Lost Planet for years, but it used to be like one of my favorite games. Have you ever played it? Yeah, good game. I don't even know the story on it. Like, they're trying to terraform worlds.
Okay, like what kind of game is it?
It's like shooter.
Okay.
But it's kind of like it's that third person or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Tomb Raider type view, where you see your dude, and you have a grappling hook and some crazy guns, and you fight creatures that are ridiculously huge. You know what I mean? I can't remember the name of them. It's been so long since I played the game. My
That's
PC
cool.
crapped out.
That's all right.
Live on the air, people.
Ooh.
So go get some of them Macs with the new keyboard.
Yeah, the game tough.
They don't. No, they don't. Don't sell them false hope.
I'm not saying.
They're gonna have good keyboards though.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah. Right.
Oh man. So anyhow, I don't know. Do we want to get in with? I mean, do you think we should even mix those two worlds, like the gaming and tech, with what I'd brought up, or we could make that a whole nother episode? Honestly,
Yeah, we can make that a whole other episode. Let's keep
Alright.
it gaming, I guess, this
we'll,
week.
we'll do gaming and tech. There's some more shit we can talk about.
Yeah.
I will bring up one kind of down note to it, and we'll get to that. It's sad when I see stuff like that happen. People take and use technology to, you know what I mean? How I said about, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get back online, people.
Oh, you're trying to bring life back into the beast there.
Yeah. Not that beast.
Yeah.
The Apple beast.
Oh, doing a hot swap here.
Hot swap live on the air, man. That PC is it's having issues. Like I said, this is what I don't get, and this is why I love fixing computers and love technology in general, but more than technology, computers, because they're easier to work on than all these mobile ass devices with super tiny little components. You know what I mean? You're gonna hear a chime, people, don't mind it. The computers, I take it home, I edited a video on it with Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, yes, it doesn't have a graphics card, so it took a while to export. And I also edited the podcast episode on that, and it worked great. Like, it
Handled audio just fine.
handled audio, handled video. It took a little while, but it did handle it, and it was working. Browsing the internet, everything great, marvelous. Brought it down here because of how good it was working. Like, oh, I'm going to use it again. Just like locks up trying to load web pages right in the, you know what I mean? It wouldn't even load web pages. Like, it actually stopped partway through. So I got like a web page from like the 90s is how it looked. It displayed it all crazy. So we'll get back to Apple here. Give me a mouse. Give me a mouse. Meese. Do you hear that?
Sounds like a truck outside or something.
Motorcycle pulling in.
Motorcycle,
Yeah, they're coming to get us.
That's a dirt bike, I think.
So tech. If I do bring it up, we'll have to do a throwback to it in the later episode when we actually full out cover that. Because I think that would be kind of neat to have somebody else involved in it. I tried to make contact with 2 people, haven't heard back yet. So you know. If they do get back, cool. If not, then we'll go ahead with that as an episode. One thing I don't like to see is when people use technology when they're committing a crime or doing something, like I said about,
Oh, that's a segue, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or if you're doing something illegal or whatever, in this case, good thing they did do it because it was direct evidence and got these kids sentenced to 71 years in jail. Like, and I don't know if that was collectively. Like, I read 3 different articles on it, and all it said was that amount of time. It doesn't say it directly, but it said, you know what I mean? That's what it kind of looks like the articles were hinting at, that collectively the amount of time in jail they got was 71 years, and there was like 4 of them. So that's, you know, however many years each. I can't do the math off the top of my head.
It's like between 15 and 20 each.
Right. And it's like, really? That, like, you should get life in prison. And not only that, to take and use technology to glorify it, to do a Snapchat video or do a live stream of you, not only one, you're ganging up on somebody because there's 4 or 5 of you on one person, and then you're going to live stream it or do a Snapchat video. Like, that's ridiculous. And believe me, we will get to the full episode on this stuff, people. Like, in this case, the kid died in hospital a couple days later, so their charges, like, went from whatever assault to murder, which they should have been life in prison, but hey, I'm not a judge, so. But yeah, no, I don't like when people do stuff like that. Or there was another instance, an ex-employee of Disney was using the underground tunnels of Disney to go and sneak in and steal stuff from the closed exhibit, like the closed haunted house part of Disney. He stole like a Buzzy. I forget what his name was. He stole one of the puppets and then the clothes, and he was getting stuff for people that were paying big dollars for it.
For Disney memorabilia? Yeah.
Actual legit Disney stuff, selling it to people to collect it. Yeah. I'll try and pull the article up. My clock's out of date.
But he was live streaming it?
No, he had a social media account. And he even had the social media account, I think, when he worked there and was taking pictures of the stuff, you know, gaining views and followers. And Disney didn't like it, but their rules didn't strictly prohibit it. But then later on, he comes back after he's not an employee anymore, thus the ex-employee, stealing the stuff. And so, yeah. Oh. So, yeah, that was another example of somebody using the technology. And he didn't really tell on himself, but he kind of did.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, this stuff's missing, and it's like, oh, look where this is. And he has a picture of it in whatever unknown location. Like, really?
yeah.
Really?
They're, yeah.
It's sad, man. What are you doing? You hold on your damn self. Give me a sec. I will pull it up so I can talk with authority. You don't believe it, but I do.
Yeah.
What is the deal here? I did it. I did it. Believe in me, Google. Did you play Kingdom Hearts 3? While we're on the Disney thing? No.
1 and 2, way back in the day.
What did you think about them?
I enjoyed them, but I mean, that was a different time. Like, you know, I was like an anime-loving teenager back then. But no, I remember they were good. Like, really good mechanic, like the way they balance like real-time action with like RPG. I remember that being good.
Okay. Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great games.
Yeah.
I only played a little bit into Kingdom Hearts 3, and that's just the time. Like, I don't have a whole lot of time to sink into gaming. Just with the sheer amount of other stuff that I work on. Good game, though. I do recommend it. Anybody that, even if you haven't played the other ones, I don't know if you can still buy it. I know when it was for pre-order, you got like every Kingdom Hearts game. It was ported over and playable on the PS4. That's a lot of games because you have the Game Boy Advance one, PSP one, PS1 or PS1 or PS2, whatever they were on. Yeah.
PS2, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great games, man. Okay, here it is. Former employee arrested for stealing 14K worth of Disney costumes. This is from 7 days ago. Wow. Dude, that's $14,000. Could you imagine?
That's it.
Yeah, I think that they're going. I don't think they're going what they're valued at. I think they're going by what he sold them for.
Yeah, I'm saying that's all you could get for Disney memorabilia like that.
While there's still a lot of stuff missing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. Arrested Friday. Buzzy in its clothing, including a bomber jacket, headphones, green hat, went missing from the closed Cranium Command attraction at Epcot Center. So this dude was navigating the underground and the tunnels are for the staff to move from one part of the park to another quickly without being seen by mobs. You know what I mean? When they got to get from here to there.
Because like also like, yeah, they're not allowed to be seen like out of costume or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how he was moving about. Was getting through there. Time. Okay, so he stole. There was wigs, skirts, jackets, all kinds of like stealing all this. Record show. Okay, so no, I guess they're not going. I guess they're going at Disney value, maybe. Record show that this guy received 30 grand via PayPal from two people between July and September of
Okay, so
the
yeah,
year he
I
did
could
it.
say like,
Yeah. The items are worth much more in the black market. So he was going low. Wow. Just like imagine that because people that love Disney. You know what I mean? They're kind of fanatical about it. Damn it, Disney. That don't just because people love your stuff don't give you no right to lock it away in the vault.
yeah.
It's just a hype machine.
Remember how we were talking about Disney's streaming service?
Yeah.
They bought Hulu.
Did they?
I think I heard that on the radio.
So they're going to use Hulu's backbone to throw out their service.
I guess it makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean it does. Also, it's kind of like disheartening when like somebody acquires somebody else's service and does something with it, but does it differently and ends up with a better result. Point in case, I forget where it was done. I read in art. This is way back, probably like a year or two ago, but they used the copper backbone of like telephone lines and stuff and cable lines. Or no, it was the telephone network that's already set up and got cable speeds or better over those telephone lines. Like this one lab with like for internet technology, they were getting better speeds on telephone lines than you could get with cable at the time, which is crazy. Like, what are DSL providers doing? Like, oh, so really you have your network built out, but enough just to like half-ass sell this to how many millions of people? Why don't you really do it like this place did and give them goods? You know what I mean? If this place can do it and they're not near the company you are, then why are you selling such a shit DSL service over those phone lines if somebody else can do cable speeds over the same copper? Who knows, man? So yeah, that's when I don't like seeing stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of lets you know what your provider is doing. Like they're kind of ripping you off.
Yeah.
I don't want to go on a whole rant about that. I will get fired up, man.
Yeah.
Another one's the electric providers. I mean, I appreciate the people that work there, people that keep the power on. We need it, you know? Do you think it would get a little, like, apocalyptic without power? Like, I mean, people sure wouldn't be doing their social media after everything started breaking down. Long enough time, devices wouldn't be charged. Your battery packs, if you had them, would drain down unless you had a way to charge it with solar power.
Yeah.
You think people would start getting nutty after no social media, no streaming, no communication? Yeah. So just the electric going down would cause quite a stir, right?
I think it's going to affect areas like more severe, like some areas more severely than others.
I'll tell you, the first area it's going to affect Wall Street.
Yeah.
That's like that's like the heart of the trading net.
Yeah.
Like, what happens if that goes down? Does that affect the economy overall?
Yeah, it would slow it down probably.
You think?
I mean, Well, like how they do it like 100 years ago, like just over like, you know,
Oh,
it would slow it down. You could still
yeah.
do it, but it'd be slower.
Did you see that? They get out
Yeah.
the telegraph thing,
Yeah.
sending it over the line. It
Yeah.
goes, from here to wherever out in Ohio, Ohio to Chicago, and they send it on down the line. That'd be great.
Yeah, people would be like, newspaper companies would be shitting their pants, be like, oh, we're relevant again.
Oh, we're back.
We're back.
Fuck the internet. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Printing presses fired back up,
Yeah.
spinning out papers. Yeah, man, I could see it happening. Well, who knows? It might someday. If I get to see it, great. I got all my media, my solar power. I'm ready. Netflix-like services at my place only. Not at your place. You gotta come to
Yeah.
mine.
You're selling the concessions too, right? No
Oh,
outside
hell
food. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Food, concessions.
Yeah.
After it's gone from the rest of the world, I will have it. I promise you. I know it's a bold statement.
Yeah.
No, I had another thought too. Damn it, what was it? I forgot. You started about the telegraph shit. Oh, damn, I can't remember.
I don't know, man. I threw you off with that, huh?
Yeah, it did. Oh well, no big deal. I won't. It's not so important. Oh, I have it back. I gained it back. Rarely do I get this.
All right.
My monkey strength has brought it back, people.
Wrestled it back from the ether, man.
My old monkey brain is firing on one cylinder today.
Okay. Well, what is it before you lose it?
It is along that economy thing with Wall Street breaking down because of no power. Back 9/11, September 2001. You know, was it? 2001. Well, wait, 9/11. September 11th. Okay, September 11th, 2000. I'm like, where's the 11 come from? It was September 11th.
The day,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, 9/11. When that happened, do you know where you were
In school.
in school?
Yeah,
I was putting up
math class, like whatever. I think it was whatever math I was in that year.
I was putting up a vinyl fence in State College at a guy. Like, I found out early, way earlier than a lot of people in public. Like, not earlier than the people in New York, obviously, because that was like ground zero.
I found out in between, like they rolled it in after the first plane hit, and like we saw the second plane hit.
Yeah, I found out a few minutes, like literally a few minutes after that first plane hit. Mm-hmm. The guy's house that we were putting a fence up at worked at the Pentagon, and he was off that day. Like, he was off of work and happened to be home because of us putting the fence up. Like, it happened. He come out like looking like white, like in the face, and talked to my boss. And my boss is like, "Do you mind telling these guys this? They're gonna think I'm messing with them." And dude come out and told us, and like, wow. And there was a lady that was like she had been working there for years, like I think 15, 16 years doing construction for that company at the point. And she was pretty upset when that happened. Like, you don't understand. You don't have a family and have kids and stuff yet. And dude, she was like distressed. Like, gas was gonna skyrocket. Milk, we'd be having to trade like who knows what for milk. And I'm like, I don't think it's gonna get that. It's gonna get bad. Yeah, gas is gonna go up. The cost of everything's gonna be driven up because of gas going up. But I don't think it's gonna be like $100 for a gallon of milk. I'm like, you don't know that. And I'm like, okay, you're right. I don't.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, she was pretty upset when that happened. Like, she's like, what am I gonna do? I already commit. You know what I mean? Commit so much time here. I can't possibly do another job just to survive. And I'm like, So yeah, and that was a pretty big attack on the world, and it did raise the gas price in that for the time.
Yeah.
Another thing along the lines of that is, did you see, like, they don't really reference that in movies and games anymore, like the Twin Towers?
No.
No, they don't. Like, anytime they do, there's outrage. Like, how dare you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one you don't really.
I don't agree with that. That was a permanent part of the New York skyline for how long?
Yeah, it's weird seeing like movies from before then now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, just then, and then all the all the things they found afterward that like, oh, this predicted it, like The Simpsons. I
Yeah.
think The Simpsons, Family Guy. Did Family Guy predict it? Let's pull
Family.
it up.
I don't think.
I'm gonna pull it up. How would you Google that?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm going for it, man. Let's see if it comes up. Okay, was 9/11 predicted, or as some people call it, the whoever out there, not so fashionable people, 911, predicted in cartoons and movies years ahead of time? Was it? No, nope, no, don't you dare do it. It's loading video. You moron.
Well, I mean, if you look at the time too, like the time, because there was an earlier attempt to blow up the towers in the early '90s,
Right.
so people could extrapolate maybe too.
Do you think? You think that was it? Okay, so Johnny Bravo in April of 2001, so a few months before, there was a poster with a building that very closely resembled one of the towers on fire with it coming soon.
Yeah,
It
but
was
that
kind of
could,
like a movie poster in the cartoon.
yeah, but like, could that also be a reference to what like skyscraper or whatever from like the '70s?
Yeah, could
Yeah.
be.
So
Okay, The Simpsons, they had a. It was Bart looking at. It was like a bus ride to New York for $9. And in the back, the skyline of the two towers was. The skyline of New York was there. You saw the Empire State Building, and then the two towers. The two towers are kind of beside the nine for the $9.
that's a stretch.
It's
Yeah.
it's a stretch. What's this? I'll say Supre Latino America. So, 1983 movie, 20 years before 9/11. It has okay, basically one of the towers breaking in half with fire shooting up out of it.
Yeah.
Right. It was a book cover. I don't know. The Lone Gunman, March 2nd, 2001. The X-Files came up with so it was an X-Files episode revolved around an aircraft crashing into the World Trade Center. That was the plot of the show. That was same year. Same year, just months before. Maybe it could have been an extrapolation.
Yeah, because yeah.
Trade Center Defender game, early 2001. So yeah, it's literally a game. You're defending the towers. You're shooting down planes and stuff. Dream Theater live scenes from New York, September 11th, 2001. September 11th, that's the same date. Progressive Rock Dreams released on the day. Oh, okay. So they released this on the day of the attack.
What was it?
Dream Theater live scenes from New York. It was an album by Dream Theater. They released it the day of the attack happening. They released released it in New York. The album art shows a burning Big Apple with New York City in the backdrop. Wow. I didn't know about that one, man. I'd never heard about that till right now. That's kind of... Well, okay. The Coup, Party Music, September 2001. So they got the towers in the background, smoke coming out of them. And when was this? September. When did this happen? Showed disturbing image with the World Trade Center towers engulfed in flames. They rescheduled their release and were forced to change their album art. I can understand why. Nosebleed, 1997. Jackie Chan movie. It was scheduled for a 2001 release. It saw the light of day in 2008. The storyline featured an attack on the World Trade Center. That's why it was scrapped. But it did come back in 2008. What else? Beavis and Butthead. You remember them?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good show.
Yeah.
Vice magazine. Okay, so they're dressed in Beavis and Butthead are dressed in long flowing garbs, kind of. like Al Qaeda, like turbans and shit, and they're flying planes into the towers, and this is from '94. Yeah, so maybe it is people extrapolating that saw it before.
Yeah.
There was Illuminati, the game of conspiracy from the early '80s. That's one I never heard of. Got the towers being exploded, kept burning, and the Pentagon also. Wow, it was a card game. Oh, is that right? A card game? Those look like cards. Yeah, the card game scarily foretold of the death and disaster reigned by the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center and Pentagon. So it had 3 out of how many buildings were there?
4.
Okay.
Well, there was the other plane that was going, but
Didn't one come down in Pittsburgh then too? Or
not in
close
Pittsburgh.
to Pittsburgh, like out that way.
I think it's more to it's. I forget exactly where it is. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere in PA.
Marvel comic book from '83. Okay, it has crumpled towers with a big Nazi flag pole coming up out of one of the towers. It didn't happen that way, thankfully. PIA advertisement, 1979. So it was an advertisement, whoever PIA is. It has the shadow of a plane on projected across both towers like a flying plane. Yeah, that's pretty nutty, man. So I heard about some of this stuff, but not like there. I can just keep scrolling. It goes on, man. All right, Terminator 2 reference. Let's see what they say. Okay, that's a stretch. Terminator 2 from
I've seen
1991.
Terminator 2, and I don't remember anything. Yeah.
What it is it's literally what you know when they're down in the LA River on the motorcycle. Whether it was, I don't know what scene it is, because young John Connor's character's down there with his friend on a dirt bike at one point, and then he's down there when he's chasing him. So I don't know what scene it's from when the Arnold's character is, and that was
The truck and like the motorcycle getting chased by a truck. Yeah.
right. All it is literally where the road crosses the LA River, one of the bridges, and there's like a support beam, and then the road crosses over. It just says caution 911 or caution 9'11" is what it reads, but it looks like caution 911 911.
Yeah.
It's just telling you the height. Though.
Bridge clearance. Yeah.
And if it's only 9'11", there's no way a big rig was going under that. That's why I had to mow the roof off. At least they were accurate with that in the movie.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we'll get off that. That was a terrible time in our I'm going to call it recent history because I was around for it. I think everybody remembers where they were then. I'm always curious to know. It's not like I run around like, hey, where were you for 9/11? Where were you? Like, not like that. But when it does come up, I always ask people, and I've never had not one person be like, oh, I don't know. You know what I mean? Unless they're like a baby or, maybe one. But they could easily find out by asking their parents or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So I often do ask that to people. I'm always curious to find out where they were and why. You know what I mean? Like, a pretty big disaster, terrorist attack like that going on. Do you think that's what ingrained it into people's minds, like why they remember where they were?
Yeah, because
Like, is there anything else in your life, like, going back that you can remember where you were, like, what you were doing?
like when like a major event happened.
Right. Like, I was in school when the Challenger blew up.
I was in. I remember this one. This one's weird. I was in 4th grade. About when Clinton was getting impeached. I remember that.
Slick Willie.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, I remember the Challenger. I remember in 9/11. I can't think of any other real events. I mean, the major events that happened. And I know where I was. Like, I don't know the teacher's name and the classroom I was in, but I know I was in school. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
What other major events? I'm trying to think where there were times. There's probably a lot. I mean, the Gulf War kicked off.
I was
but
too young to really. Yeah.
Yeah, early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, see. Don't know, though. I know people that went over there. And thank you for your service, everyone. Even if I don't know you, thank you. It is Memorial Day tomorrow, too. What are we remembering? Is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
'Cause I kind of wanted to bring that up, but I didn't want to base the whole show just strictly off that. I tried to go with games, and then we'll talk on this.
I think it's in memorial of like fallen soldiers, like people who've fallen.
Right.
Yeah. In the military, I believe. Yeah, I think that's yeah.
So, we should have a moment of silence for all those people out there, shouldn't we? It's not Memorial Day, but we're not going to be doing this. We could have did it tomorrow.
We could have, yeah.
We could do a bonus episode tomorrow.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, let's have a moment of silence for these people. All right, we're back. And we're doing it again. No, seriously, thank you. All you people that serve, even in law enforcement. Like, huge thank you to the job you do, because it's a job I couldn't do. If I had to, maybe. Like, if the world was in a state where, like, look,
Yeah,
you got to go or you got to whatever.
Yeah,
maybe.
but it's not an ideal.
Not an ideal, no, man. I mean, only an extreme, like, and I'd probably fail miserably. You know what I mean? With proper training, maybe. I'd do a little bit better job, but no, just so that's why anytime I have a chance with, like, a soldier or an officer, I usually, like, hey, just real quick, say thank you for what you do, whatnot, stuff like that. But Memorial Day, we're definitely getting out of here today, man. We're gonna close the show out. We do have a good episode coming up. I want to get a proper guest on for it.
Yeah.
And we also got to get the Pope back.
Yeah.
He has something he wants to bring to our attention.
Yeah, I was talking to him about it last night, and he said, like, oh, I got to come on. I'm like...
So is it a little more planned out? Or not yet? Not yet.
Oh, no, he's, like, whenever he shows up, he'll be good to, like, spill
Good to
it.
go.
Yeah, he'll be good to spill it, but... yeah, I don't know. It's on him. It's on him whenever he wants to come on.
All right, man. Well, Pope, we're waiting on you.
Yeah.
Garrett the Bard, you got to come back and update us with something sometime. We're waiting on that.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta get some characters on here, man. Characters, I'm telling you.
Yeah. And
I will work on the segment. The segment I originally had planned for today, I think people would have liked, but it would have been a lot of me talking about, well, to the rest of the world, kind of pointless shit. But I like talking about it. I don't mind the past.
Yeah, if we had, especially if we had some, well, I don't know, that would be more of just me asking questions,
right?
Kind of podcast, yeah.
So it'd be like a question and then answer type thing, and you getting a little bit more insight. If I could get another person to like bounce stuff back and forth with questions being asked, I think that's going to make a killer episode for everybody. We'll present it as such then. I'm not saying only then. If we can't get that laid out for y'all, we'll do the best we can with these two morons we got here. Right?
Old Smiley McGee. Yeah.
That's right, man. With that, people, we're going to get out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. I had a computer crash, and then I Facebook? I'm going to say this, man. I like that we stream to multiple locations, but I don't like that Facebook gives me so many problems. When we're streaming, getting connected to it reliably.
Maybe time to just... share the YouTube link out on Facebook, maybe?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's cool. Thank you for joining us. We do appreciate it. Have fun this Memorial Day. Be safe.
Yeah, be safe.
If you're going to be drinking, stay the hell out of your car.
Yeah. Stay home. Or wherever you're at.
Stay where you are. You're good. You're good. And if you're not good, send somebody else that ain't drinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have them help you get good. With that, have a safe one, people. Send it. Send it to him. Wait, I got the button.
Oh, yeah. You're the one with the button.